Hey guys, I'm Red, and this is LEGO Ideas set number 21302, released in 2015 with 484 pieces with 7 exclusive and beautiful minifigures for just $60. This is the Big Bang Theory Sheldon's apartment, and I really like the set. I don't have the original box, so a picture of it will be in the top left corner, but I do have the instructions, so why don't we start with those? Starting off with the front cover, of course, you do get the LEGO and Big Bang Theory logo with the set number right below that. Get a massive picture of the set there in the front with all of its different play features. And then, of course, just information scattered on the bottom. I really like this kind of design here. It's like a whiteboard. You can see Sheldon or Leonard have been doing some equations here, which is really cool. I can't read any of them, but still, pretty cool. On our first page here, of course, it does say The Big Bang Theory with a little description of the show. You can pause and read that now if you like. And then there is this really cool timeline of the universe from, the Big Bang and all the way down to a billion years ago, which is pretty cool. And we have a picture of the group here. On the next page, of course, is all about our minifigures from Leonard all the way to Bernadette here. And there's a lot to read, so you can pause and read now if you like. And on this right picture, there is a picture of some planets, which is pretty cool. And of course, it does say it in different languages as well. It's always the same thing, but, got to get all the languages in there. And like our new LEGO icon sets, of course, the instructions do have character quotes, like from Leonard, or, if I can find another one real quick, just from everybody, and they're really cool, and they are scattered around the instructions. Looking at our minifigures, our first minifigure is going to be, obviously, the main character, Sheldon Cooper. And I really like this figure, but my least favorite part of it starts at the top with his hairpiece. It is the dark brown, combed over hairpiece from Obi-Wan and the Clone Wars of Phil Coulson. We've seen that a bunch of times. But I really like his face though, because you can see the bags under his eyes, and there's just a lot of expression going on there, which I think is really cool. His flash torso, of course, is the main part of the figure, with just a little bit of crinkles on the left side, and you can see his dark blue. Or his regular blue shirt, poking out on his collar there. He, of course, has dual molded arms with red and blue, and he has dark tan legs with no special printing or anything. And then on the back is just a little bit of crease lines. And, of course, he is super happy on the other side, because maybe he just said, Bazinga or something, or maybe he solved an equation, or who knows. Up next is Amy, and this is another really cool figure. She has the dark brown, there we go. I guess just long hair, I guess. You can see red glasses on her face there, which are really nice. I like getting that part. That's pretty cool. She has this, olive green kind of hippie shirt, I guess, with a lighter green shirt on underneath there. You can see some negative space in black for her hips there, with sand blue and dark red dual molded legs. That's really nice, and I really like that part. She has just basic olive green arms, and the same kind of printing for her torso continues on the back, with negative space on the hips as well. And you can see she's super happy on the other side of her face. Up next is Leonard, and like Sheldon, the least interesting part of this figure is his hairpiece. It is just the standard minifigure hairpiece in dark brown, which kind of sucks, but I guess that's okay. You can see he does have regular brown eyebrows and some glasses there, which look pretty cool. I like that face. It's really nice. He has a tan jacket over a lime green recycling t-shirt, which, again, a really cool part to get. I like that. He has dark blue legs and regular tan arms, with a hood kind of sticking out of the back there, and you can see the bottom of his shirt. And when we rip off his hairpiece, you can see he's super pissed, because maybe Sheldon went to Disney World or something. Up next is Raj, and he does come with his Chihuahua, and we've seen this mold many times before, so we're not going to really look too deep into it if I can keep it in my hands. It does just have standard printing for the face, nothing too special going on here, but yeah, pretty cool. And the figure itself, like the other ones, it's really nice. He does just have a coal hair from Ninjago in black, which we've seen many times. I do like the smile on his face there. I think that shows a lot of expression for 2015 LEGO. He does have a purple jacket on with some diamond patterns underneath. I like that, actually. I think that's pretty cool. He does have dark tan legs and purple arms. You can see just a little printing on the back for added detail. And then ripping his hair off, you can see he's super confused, maybe because his parents just cut him off for money. Up next is Penny, and she does come with the standard minifigure blonde hairpiece, which I guess it works. That's pretty acceptable. She does have a super basic smile on her face there, with a pink shirt on underneath there, with some dark pink negative space for the hips, and some pockets on the chest there. She does have dark blue legs, and I guess this is like a hot pink, maybe. You can see the negative space on her back there once again. And then, of course, she does have a super pissed expression on her face, maybe because Sheldon found something in her closet. Up next is Howard, and I really like this figure once again. Like, all these figures are just fantastic. I like his hairpiece. It's all, like, side-parted and everything, and I think that works really well for this figure. I like his face there. I like the sideburns on the edge, and it just shows a lot of expression once again. He does have a black button-up t-shirt on with a black shirt underneath, and you can see he does have a belt printed on his waist there, which is pretty cool. Moving on to the back, there are a few crease lines in the middle there, and then when we rip off his hair, you can see he does have maybe like his face he makes when he's trying to pick up women or something. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to be. And last, but definitely not least, this is Bernadette. And again, I really like this figure. She does just use the standard, like, longer hair for the minifigures, which you've seen many, many times. I do like her face. I think that works really well with her kind of red, kind of pinkish glasses. She does have a dark pink torso with a, button-up shirt there. You can see, once again, negative space for the hips. And her legs are the really nice piece of the set. You can see she has waist printing and, like, dual molded legs, which is really cool. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be. It's just a bunch of pink dots, but it looks really cool. And I just noticed she does have a necklace, which is a star there, which is pretty cool. And then turning her around, you can see she's super pissed because Howard isn't taking care of the kids. And there is just a line down her back for some reason. I'm not really sure. Maybe like a zipper or something. With 7 beautiful and now very expensive minifigures, I think this set is definitely worthy of, collecting. I think just for the figures alone, it's really cool. Because they're all really nice and all exclusive. Especially that Sheldon. But yeah, very cool. I really like all these. Getting into the set itself, our first little part of the set is 2 side builds. So we have a wooden chair here. It's interesting that it's supposed to be made of wood in the show, but they did it in black here, which is a really good build, but it just doesn't make any sense why it's in black. And of course, we do get the exclusive whiteboard here with that 4x4 print on it. You can see all types of stuff going on there. Maybe some science equations I'm not exactly sure of. You can see there are 2 markers, one in red and one in pink, which is just the Lego Friends like lipstick piece instead of the blue that's on the whiteboard. That's kind of confusing. It is just being held up by one of these like fence pieces and 2 dark tan jumpers, and it is all on a hinge, so pretty simple, but still I like it, and that piece is super useful. And finally, here is the set itself. This is Sheldon's apartment, and I really like it, so why don't we start over here. Starting off on the right side in the hallway here, you can see maybe it's supposed to be like a light switch, but it is a Star Wars printed panel with a light right above it, which is just using a tap piece and a snot brick to hold it up there. I always like when they do that. I think that looks really cool. You can see there's some tan flooring kind of blending into the dark tan main flooring, which is supposed to be like a kitchen area over here as well. So I like how they, put it up a one plate. Right before we get through the door, though, of course, there is this 1x1x5 brick, which is just a fuse box sticker, which, again, super useful to get. I like that, but we will only have one of these on Sitcom Tower, unfortunately. Moving into the office space, of course, you can see it is all made up of these medium nougat masonry bricks, which I always like getting, of course. You can see these blinds are held up by this massive, like, flexible bar piece here with some dark blue curtains, excuse me. And there's not really much going on the desk itself. There's like a stack of papers here on these drawers, and there's nothing on the computer screen, but the keyboard piece is printed. And I like how they did the light with the pistol piece to give it that nice angle. That's pretty cool. Just behind the desk, though, are a bunch of shelves and maybe full of like comic books or, different things. But the shelf is just made up of like 1x1 bricks, so nothing too special. There is a radio on one of the shelves there, which is the classic like turntile things, which is really nice to get. I love that piece. On the top of the shelf here is this like 1x1 cone piece and this microfig, which I wish they did it in orange. I still like the blue because, it's supposed to be like Aquaman, but still pretty cool. On the side here, there is this DNA like statue thing and some big science words, which are printed on a 2x4 tile, which I can't read any of because they're too big. And just above that is this like electric ball thing that you would put your hand on and your hair would go up. So yeah, pretty cool. I like that. Here is the front door, and I really like it. It's just a 1x wide door with a interestingly colored door here with a sticker on it with a wrestling ring. I of course, really like that. And just following along the wall, you just have this like wall of collectibles. So you got like the electric ball thing, a lantern battery, a mini rocket, a blue ball thing, a red micro figure, and maybe an award or something. I'm not exactly sure. But there is this 2x2 printing, which wasn't as common at the time, but it's super common now. So we're just gonna keep going. And there is one final light in the set as well. Moving on to the main part of the living room, of course, front and center is this carpet here, which I really like how they did with the blue and the dark red and the tan. It looks really nice using all the tiles there. In the middle of the table is just a newspaper, which I've seen many times, and some exclusive Chinese boxes, which I wish they added to like Bricks and Pieces and, you know, Lego Shop at Home, because I would kill for more of those. There is just a super basic tan chair, which can fit a minifigure, and Raj can sit nice and comfortable in that chair there. There is a little side table here, and of course this can fit like any dishes or newspapers or books or anything. And moving on to the main couch, of course, it can fit some more minifigures on those studs there to get this really nice like curved piece, which I like getting. That's pretty cool. And of course you can fit Sheldon in his spot, but the two ladies here kind of have to lean forward because of their hair pieces. But I think it still gives the effect. Maybe she's just like leaning over to grab some food or something. And then over here, I think this is supposed to be like an ottoman or something, or maybe like a storage drawer. I'm not exactly sure. And if we look behind them, there is a bookshelf, but we can just very easily just lift off the couch and see everything it has to hide. There's not much, but maybe there's like video games or more comic books or something. Maybe Green Lantern comic or a Flash comic or, you know, something cool. And last, but definitely not least, is this beautiful build for a telescope. I really like how they did this with this like compass piece. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it's really cool. I like the lightsaber handle at the bottom and just how it all comes together really nicely. It's beautiful. And it is just on a single stud connection, so we can take it off and lift it and place it anywhere we want. And also included in the set are a bunch of like different glasses, you know, kitchen accessories, so we can have a bunch of characters like pose around and, you know, eating Chinese food. And you do get a bunch of extras as well, so I always like getting these. These are pretty cool. And that's really all I have to say about this LEGO Ideas set. I really liked it. I'm not a huge fan of the Big Bang Theory, but I did really enjoy this LEGO set. My only issue is that there's not more of it, really. Like, I wish there was like a hallway and, you know, maybe a kitchen area. And yeah, that's really about it. I really enjoyed the set. And I guess the markers should have been blue, but maybe they didn't want to make another new piece on top of all these other new ones, so I kind of get that. But what do you guys think about the set? Why don't you leave me a comment down below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit like, subscribe. It's easy, it's free. And I don't know where the next video is going to be yet, but it'll be something just as cool as this.